Hey, hello, how you doing? My name is Tehja Avanni, and this is day 5, episode 5, video 5 of my Beyonce Renaissance inspired fashion project. Today is rhinestoning the cape. My least favorite part of the whole series, project, all that good stuff, because like literally it took forever. And for me, I love rhinestoning, like it's literally my favorite pastime. However, when it's too intense and I feel like it's taking too long to get it done, that's when it gets aggravating for me. And that's what happened with this cape, and it took me weeks to rhinestone it, and then like I would like get discouraged and like put it down and like not even look at it for weeks, and then come back to it and get back to rhinestoning it. So it was a battle. I was very much relieved, and I celebrated when I was finally done with this cape, because it is a show-stopping cape. It did come out beautiful, and I'm just really proud of it, but it was a lot of hard work, sweat, and tears. So if you'd like to see me rhinestone the crap out of this cape, also grab a drink, grab a snack, and grab whatever you want to grab, because it is a long video. So if you'd like to experience all of that and experience this Renaissance disco fantasy in the process, then please keep on watching until the end of this video. So this is what the cape looks like once everything is sewn together, and that's where we left off last video. So now it's time to rhinestone the absolute crap out of it. And so I'm first going to go over all the rhinestones I used for this cape, just get it done all at once, because I switched between a lot of the rhinestones a lot throughout rhinestoning this process. So I just figured just to let you know all the rhinestones that I used. So you can skip to this timestamp if you don't want to like see all of the rhinestones that I use. I'll also be listing them down below in the description box and in the comments with links as well. But here are all the rhinestones I will be using for rhinestoning this cape. The Deco Kraft's Dark Amethyst Purple Glass Rhinestones in SS10, and also I'll be using, along with the purple, is another Dark Amethyst from Azarex, and their glass rhinestones in the 2mm size. Then I'll be using sparsely, not a lot, but when I feel like it's necessary, the Preciosa Viva 12 rhinestones in burgundy in the SS10, and the Dreamtime, very similar cut, burgundy crystal rhinestones in SS16. I'll also be using the Deco Kraft's crystal glass rhinestones in the AB burgundy color in SS12. I use a lot of Tehja's Wonderland Valentina rhinestones, Resin rhinestones, in pretty much all the sizes except for the 2mm. So I use them in the 3mm size, the 4mm size, the 5mm size, and the 6mm size. Also use the Tehja's Wonderland Vampira rhinestones in SS12 and SS16. I also use the Deco Kraft's 3mm clear transparent rhinestones. Now this was a lifesaver for rhinestones because it like really just added a nice texture without it being too opaque of a color, but it reflected nice on the cape. I also use the Deco Kraft's SS6 Dark Siam crystal glass rhinestones. So I also use the Deco Kraft's 3mm Dark Siam rhinestones, and also a couple of like miscellaneous rhinestones that I don't know where they came from, a part of my already inventory of rhinestones already in my collection. So those are all the rhinestones I use, along with the E6000 Fabric Fuse glue. But I do have to say that after rhinestoning the cape, it's better to use hot fix rhinestones so you don't have the glue marks, because it was just hard to kind of keep the glue contained with this organza fabric. So anyway, now it's time to move on to actually rhinestoning this cape. Alright, so what I first did, even though it was all for naught, but I'm taking a red tailor's chalk and marking the swoop design that I want to do for this cape, just so I can have a guide to follow. But I ended up not following it. It was it was rough. I ended up doing it on my craft table instead, because it was just way easier to do. And also I just did it as I went along as well, and kind of followed the vibe of what the rhinestones were doing. So I'll be using this Reynolds Kitchens pop-up parchment sheets, because this is going to kind of lay over my table and protect the table from any glue sticking to the surface of the table, because you want to protect all of your surfaces. And the sheets actually worked out better than the roll of parchment paper, because you can shift them around the way that you want them to, and it was a little bit easier to pretty much manage those sheets in smaller bits instead of longer pieces. And so I'm just going to lay those on the table. And I use parchment paper instead of regular paper because it doesn't stick to the rhinestone glue. So it's easy to peel the parchment paper off of your garment once you're done rhinestoning. So anyway, I laid those parchment pieces onto my table, and now I'm laying my garment, my cape on top of it. And I'm making sure that, I know the little pieces move around, so you just have to readjust constantly. So I'm first starting out with the Tehja's Wonderland SS12 Vampira rhinestones, crystal glass rhinestones, and using my Fat Refuse glue, of course. And I am going to kind of go in this like swoop design using a small, like thin paintbrush and paint the glue onto the cape, and then adding the rhinestones right on top of it with like a wax pencil. I think I'm using a toothpick, but I end up changing it to a wax pencil because it was a lot easier. And so I kind of created like this swoop design, almost like paisley-like. And so this is the one that's in the middle that is very, very big. And my first original thought was that I was going to fill in all of the rhinestones or all of the swoop designs. That was not a good idea. That was not a good idea. It took way too long, especially I made this one super big. So once I filled in that one, which I ended up like completing later, but you'll see me fill it in a little bit, and I was like, oh hell no. And so I just abandoned that whole idea. But I ended up filling that one up later. But for the rest of them, I ended up doing like the double swoop design for just like without the filling in for the majority of the top of the bodies. Not the bodysuit. I'm going to say bodysuit because I just finished recording a voiceover for the bodysuit. But I do it for the top of the cape. A lot of the double swoop designs. That's what I'm calling it. And then as I kind of move down the cape and I want to finish this cape because it took forever to do, I end up doing only the double swoop designs with the red rhinestones. So it'll be like the Vampira rhinestones, the Valentina rhinestones, the dark Siam rhinestones. And for the rest of the colors, I end up just doing a singular swoopy line, if that makes any sense. But you'll see as I go along. And I do still the singular swoopy lines with the red rhinestones as well. But the red rhinestones are the only ones reserved for the double swoops as well. And that cut down on a lot of time, and it added a lot of nice detail. And I think it just came out a lot better in my opinion. So you'll see that as I go along. So for the majority of this video, I'm going to let y'all just watch me rhinestone with some chill music. It's actually raining right now, so hopefully that picked up a little bit to add to the chill vibes. But yeah, I'm just going to leave y'all to just watching me rhinestone for the rest of this video because it does take a while. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I'll see y'all on the other side once this whole process is done. So I'm back. So this is the part when I was starting to fill it in and I saw how many episodes of Parks and Recreation went by and like it wasn't done. So I was like, absolutely not. So as you see in this clip, for the one that's towards the bottom, that's the double swoop that I'm talking about. And so that's the one that I'm going to be doing a lot of for the majority of the rhinestones for the upper part of the cape. So anyway, now I'll leave y'all to it. Bye. So also here you get to see me do finally a single swoop. I realized that you haven't been able to see it the majority of the video, but here I'm doing a single swoop, which is just like a squiggly curvy line, but it adds a lot of texture to the rhinestone design because it just, you have two different patterns going on. And so I just want to point out that this is a nice clip of me doing the single swoops if you had no idea what I was talking about before. Yeah, so that's it. And then I think I'm just gonna leave y'all alone now, and I'll just see you at the end of the video. Psych, I totally lied. It's not the end of the video, but it's close to it. So this is me filling in like that lone swoop, and I had to because I started filling it in, and then I realized I didn't want to fill nothing in, but I just had to do it. So this is me filling it in like literally towards the end of the garment. So that's like my only pet peeve with it, but other than that, I'm just happy with the way it came out. So this is how the cape turned out. It was literally a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Well, minus the blood. It wasn't a lot of blood, but a lot of sweat and tears for this cape, but it came out so freaking good. It's better than I imagined it to be. And like, I can only imagine if I used like all crystal rhinestones, it would have been gorgeous. So I'm just really happy with the way it came out. Like, the camera doesn't even do it justice. Like, I wish y'all could see this in person, and maybe it'll be in a museum one day, who knows. But anyway, that is it for this video. So I'll just cut to, you know, future me. So that is it. This is how the cape turned out. It's so freaking beautiful. I'm like gasping at how it came out because I knew it would be fine because rhinestones on anything is beautiful, but like the way that this just sparkles, like the camera doesn't even do it justice, and like I'm pissed about it because it's so sparkly. It's so like, it's almost like angelic the way it sparkles. Like, I'm super happy. Was it worth all the energy? Probably. But will I ever do it again? No, unless it's for a shit ton of money. So, you know, I'm happy that it's finally done so we can move on to the rest of the project so that, you know, this can finally be done because this project's taking a while. It's already video 5. It's taking a while. So, that is it for this video. Of course, all the materials will be linked down below, and please check out my Patreon because there's a lot of exclusive content on there. It'll be linked in the description and in the comments down below. So anyway, that is it for this video. So lovelies, as always, please love yourself, and I will see you next video. Mwah!